This segment is brought to you by Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. All right, welcome back to Bayou Time. I'm Martin Foss. We're going to talk about a very sensitive subject, one that takes different avenues, different roads. But of course, if you're anywhere around the Lafourche area and in Terrebonne, a lot of people in Terrebonne have been following this too. You know about the 6th Ward middle school incident that took place. It involves pictures being passed around that were started on AI. It involves a lot of controversy. It involves a fight on a bus. It involves Ben Como, an attorney in the area, also Attorney Matt Ory, approaching the Lafourche School Board. This story is big in a lot of different ways. It's sensitive too. We're talking about kids. We're talking about children. We're talking about, I guess, scenarios that we can allude to, which you probably know already, but some we cannot, because certainly we don't want to make it any bigger, or we don't want to cast aspersions on anybody until we gather all the facts. What we do know is that AI can be a problem. It can be a major problem. We're going to start with that. We're going to continue to follow the story. But I want to start off with AI. So what did I do? Called Robbie Lee, who's the Chief Communications Officer, Terrebonne Parish. Good to see you, Robbie.
Yeah, good to see you too, Martin.
And he's on the National Association of Counties and Parishes, NACO, but on that, he's on the Committee of Telecommunications and Technology. And Robbie, we talked yesterday. I invited you on because this story originates with AI.
Correct.
We'll get into some other things, and I'm glad at this point that the Lafourche School Board is listening, because this has a lot of exceptions in it. I must start by saying that if it was my loved one or my relative, I'd probably lose my mind over it. All starts with pictures being generated from AI, but pictures allegedly realistic enough to send everybody's thoughts a certain way. We all know what AI can do. When we're public figures, sometimes it's used against us.
Yes.
I'm sure you've had it used against you being a public figure, but you now sit on the committee. It's a national committee.
Yep.
You have expressed apprehension on this before. I'll give you the floor.
Correct. Yeah, I have been a huge, advocate for the banning, flat out banning of any creation of AI images. They're in the field I'm in, we call them deep fakes, is what the term used, and it uses generative AI, which is an AI that uses to fill in the blanks of missing information, like taking an individual's face and putting it on a different person's body. I've been staunchly against this for a plethora of reasons, especially within the last, about 4.5 years. I had a daughter of my own. I have two, young daughters, and through NACO and through talking to individuals about AI, one thing that has increased heavily, and one thing that scared me, was the use to create what they call CSAM, which is child sexual abuse material. The center of the cyber timeline, they run by the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children. In 2023 had put out a study that they had seen an influx of over, and this was in 2023, not 2025, and almost in 2026, over 1 million SAM images created. So child pornography created with the use of AI.
Wow.
Like, this is a very dangerous tool that there are next to no regulations on. We just within the last 3 years started to weigh child abuse and child porn created by AI as the same as being actual child porn. There was just a teacher not too long ago, about 7 months ago, I'd read a story. A teacher in Austin, Texas had over 365 images. A teacher that taught young children 365 child porn images, with a good chunk, they said about 1/3 of it, created with AI of students he had in that school.
Let me say this, because we use it, comedians use it a lot. We use it on our Sports on the Bayou program when we go on the break. We use it in fun. It's funny stuff.
Yeah.
But if it's in the wrong hands,
Correct.
it can be detrimental to someone's life. And speaking with people close to the source, I am told that these AI images, I mean, they look so realistic now that you cannot tell the difference.
You can't. They're so, I mean, just, I want to say what, again, in 2023, 2024, people use it to make sexually explicit images of Taylor Swift. And that was passed around all over the internet. Like it was basically porn. Like they used it to create an image of this woman, a celebrity. So if she's not safe, why would anyone else be safe? And that's always the same issue as, like there are a lot of people, I'll use AI for data, right? I have no problem with using AI to help me find data in a large spreadsheets and figure information out. But I'm also extremely responsible when I do that.
Yeah, if it gets in the wrong hands. Let's do this, Rob. We'll take a break. When we come back, I want to really harp on this because there's a fine line, and I think the Lafourche Parish School Board is going to learn that this is a unique situation. They're going to have to do some maneuvering and maybe change a couple little policies here or there. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Don't forget, we always invite everyone else involved in this to come on. I wanted to break the story with AI first. We'll continue with more throughout the week. We'll be right back. This segment was brought to you by Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. All right, welcome back. Martin False here with Robbie Lee. Of course, Robbie's the Chief Communication Officer, Terrebonne Parish, but he's also on the NACO, National Association of Counties and Parish, and Telecommunications and Technology Committee. We're talking about the incident in Lafourche, which involved pictures, explicit pictures passed around of a young lady at the 6th Ward Middle School. It all led to a fight in the bus. An expulsion was made over the fight on the bus, but attorneys got involved. School board members, I guess, reassessed. They're still probably reassessing. I don't have all the logistics or all of the story in this because naturally it involves school, which a lot of privacy situations. They're filed. So we're not going to make things up. I will attempt to call everyone involved, but I wanted to slowly progress into this because the culprit of all this was AI. And of course, you being on that board, let's talk about this some more because this is a different scenario for school boards and superintendents because 20, 25 years ago, we didn't have this.
Correct.
If your picture was being passed around, well,
It was real.
somebody got it, you know. But now, if you have a vendetta against somebody in school, or if you're just trying to be funny, or if you're trying to be the class clown, or you're just trying to be mean, you can do pretty much anything you want. And it's up to the other person to prove that it never happened. That's a tough spot to be in.
Correct.
So what do y'all talk about on these committees?
Just the overall laws. It's a policy steering committee for the laws that go on in our country, and it's just mostly like steering committees of like should this be banned? Should we move to have influence on this? One of the big things right now is the creation of images through AI because of these what we call deep fakes and how easy it is to manipulate anything. But it goes even further than that. Now there's these things called chatbots where children could go and text an AI and that AI have a conversation with them like it's a child, like they're both having a real conversation or not. And they've seen instances where the AI has actually influenced the child to commit suicide.
Correct. There's
a ton of lawsuits for that right now. Mm-hmm. We just saw one in Texas some earlier this year where the chatbot had told the child, the 14-year-old child, that it understood why it sees news articles of children murdering their parents. And it's just so, there's not many rules and laws and regulations around it, which is why you see such a push from NACO to put laws and rules around it, especially for the youth using this. But unfortunately, big tech wants to keep pushing this, so they do. And until, more people are up to date and knowledgeable in the information going on and what's going on with AI and getting in touch with their lawmakers, right now, lawmakers are really only hearing one large voice, which is these technology companies wanting to push this. And unfortunately, we're on the smaller end because a lot of people don't understand the dangers with this. Now they will. I think stuff like this is starting to happen more and more often every year. You've seen this happen more and more often every day. So I think now you'll start to see parents start to reach out to lawmakers and push for this kind of stuff to be banned.
And I can honestly say, if getting rid of the funny stuff means getting rid of the stuff like we're talking about now, I'll be the first one in line. It's just, it's in the wrong hands, so they're going to have some kind of rule or law somewhere. You were there. We're rolling some B-roll. We had Ben Como and also Matt Ory that approached the Lafourche school board, and you said you viewed it. It got pretty contentious, didn't it?
Yeah, I had an individual who knows my stance on this AI stuff and was like, hey, send it to me. They weren't even in our parish and saw it. And I was like, you should really take a look at this. So I went to the 44-minute mark, then you see, Mr. Ben Como and Mr. Matt Ory get up and speak. And this instance is exactly the thing a lot of us, including myself, are fighting against now. Because there is no way to protect yourself from this. There's no way this child could have protected themselves from this situation. They couldn't because they have no control.
Isn't this a tough situation? Because then the superintendent and Miss Fertitta and Mr. Martin, there's a fight on the school bus, and there's rules for the fight on the school bus. But yet, the fight was caused by something AI completely different. So you almost have to have a lot of discretion in looking at these matters because, like I said, you have to be able to defend yourself somehow. So this is a big gray area, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a huge gray area. It's a tremendous gray area, and that's always been the problem with AI. There's not a lot of rules and regulations around it. So when you have instances like this, no one really knows what they should do. But even from a WIJET video, and I don't want to weigh in on that board, and they're allowed to do what they want. And I do believe AI should be banned, but I do want to harp on what Mr. Henry said, which is, what that individual went through all day long. And that resonated with me as an individual who has two daughters, because I don't think I could have been as calm as those parents in that situation.
We'll take a break. I want to talk more about that because I don't know if most parents could have restrained themselves, to be honest with you, but it's new horizons for a lot of people. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. We'll have a final segment with Robbie Lee. Don't go away. This segment was brought to you by Buick. Exceptional by design. All right, welcome back. And once again, we're talking with Robbie Lee. We're talking about incident at the 6th Ward Middle School that by now a lot of you know, AI-generated photo passed around, and it has been horrific, to say the least. And I know a lot of you are going, Martin, why are you dancing around this? Why are you not just diving in? I'll tell you why. We're talking about a young lady, and we're talking about she's already been traumatized, but it is our job to look deeper to make sure this can't happen again. And if we got to go to AI somewhere in the upper level or get legislation passed or go to Congress or do different things, well, so be it. But this is so unfair to a young lady to have to go through this, and the restraint that some parents have to put themselves in. And you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, because if you don't go and handle this a certain way, then you may be seen as weak. But if you go the other way and you're trying to get something done, you may be seen as weak on that side. So It's not a whole lot you could do here except hope the process takes care of itself. We hope the Lafourche School Board handles the process from start to finish. They may have to separate the couple of incidents, the school bus fight with the other thing. They may have to separate that because one led to the other.
Correct.
We'll give them the benefit of the doubt. We invite all of them on this program in hopes that we could educate people. As a board member on a national level, do y'all plan on addressing Congress and trying to get rules and regs on this?
Yes, one of the big things we're pushing for is what you've seen. They've already made a push for age verification for pornographic images on the web, right? That's one of the things we're pushing for now is the same thing for the use of any AI, an age verification software. So one of two things can be done. One, if you're under the age of 18, it'll notify us because you do have to put in information that is identifying that you really are a person. It's harder to fake. And I believe that is something you should put in place. And then also it would allow us to track individuals who use these images to create, you know, blatant child porn images and deep fakes and stuff like this of individuals. So that way, if they used any of this for malicious intent, they can then be prosecuted for it, which is what they should be. That's what should happen. If you use AI to create, you know, child porn or child sexual abuse materials or anything, you know, there's laws amongst revenge porn where you can't take sexually explicit images you have of a past partner and then share it on the internet because they broke up with you. Those rules and laws can apply the same way here. So that's one big push we're going for right now is age verification. Having that age verification would put an end to a lot of these problems you see now because kids, it would stop. Now, granted, could you still get around it? If you resourceful enough and you really want to, you could. But then when you make an image like this, it would be linked back to the parent you would try to link it to because you would have to have a driver's license to be able to do it or be able to prove some way you are 18 years of age.
I can't imagine growing up with this kind of technology. In our day, I'm showing my age, if we went roll somebody's house after a football game, that was considered big, you know? Today, these kids, and I know they're used to more stress because they've grown up in the technology world, but no one is used to what this young lady had to go through. No one. I don't care who you are, especially at that age, with that kind of pressure on you. You're already in that pressure age where you're trying to fit in. Yep. And then this happens. And I'm just hoping that the school board, and Mr. Martin's been on our show many, many times. Ms. Fertitta, I'm aware of her qualification. But let's see the process play out. I know Matt Ory and Ben Como went up there and expressed their opinion. We may see some innovative ways to handle this that we've never seen before in school systems because this is different. It has two components really to me, and it's how they handle both components.
Correct. And look, I hope Lafourche and Terrebonne are so drastically similar. And one thing I think both of the areas have had somewhat of luck in is trends tend to hit us later.
Yes.
Than they do other areas, right?
Very true.
So whereas we saw this AI thing happen across America, you know, early 2023, now we're looking late 2025, and it's slowly starting to creep into our, you know, our neighborhoods. But I think that's because we got lucky to be on the later end of it, is you should take the time now to teach your children, talk to your children about the dangers of not only AI, but technology in general. Don't be afraid to get the screen out of their hand. Like they don't need it at 13, 14, 15 years old. I didn't have a phone till I was almost 17. They really don't need those things right now. And I understand you could use a computer for schoolwork and they've introduced Chromebooks in the school, but just talk to your kids. Explain to them the dangers of this, because this can happen to anyone. There's no way.
Let them know that your actions could cause someone to take their life.
Yes, they absolutely can. This is that's a real unfortunate side effect from this entire thing of AI was the increase of suicide in younger children.
Well, Robbie, I appreciate you coming on, and thank you for serving on that committee, and keep us posted. We'll bring you in as this process continues.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. Once again, Robbie Lee, we appreciate it. And we'll be contacting all of the players involved in this. not the kids, but the adults who are making the decisions to appear on our show. We'll see you next time around. This segment was brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your partner is good health.